Well, hello. My name is Steve Whitman, and I am an AmeriCorps Program Officer with the Office on Volunteerism and Community Service. And I'd like to welcome you to the presentation today, Virginia AmeriCorps, Becoming a Program Sponsor, Part 1, which is an overview. This presentation is being done as a collaboration by the Virginia Office on Volunteerism and Community Service and the Corporation for National and Community Service Virginia State Office. Today's objective in this session is to cover what is AmeriCorps, what areas of need does AmeriCorps target, how can AmeriCorps benefit my organization and community, how does AmeriCorps benefit the participants, and is AmeriCorps a fit for my organization? First, a brief overview of the Corporation for National and Community Service. The acronym is CNCS. The corporation is an independent federal agency that each year engages millions of Americans of all ages and backgrounds into improving communities through an array of volunteer service opportunities. Programs meet needs in education, healthy futures, clean energy in the environment, veterans, and opportunity. The main programs underneath the Corporation for National and Community Service are Senior Corps, AmeriCorps, and Learn and Serve America. Today's presentation will focus primarily on AmeriCorps State and National. The mission of the Corporation for National and Community Service is to improve lives, to strengthen communities, and to foster civic engagement through service and volunteering. As a result of the passage of the Edward M. Kennedy Serve America Act, there are now 5 primary priority areas that the corporation is focusing on. Those areas are education, healthy futures, clean energy in the environment, veterans, and opportunity. I'd like to make this point in the presentation that all proposals submitted in the state of Virginia must address one of these 5 priority areas in order to be considered for funding for an AmeriCorps state program. As I mentioned a moment ago, the corporation's primary areas of programming are Senior Corps, Learn and Serve America, and there's a brief overview of these programs listed here for you. We're not going to cover them today, but want to make you aware that there are several programs underneath the Corporation for National and Community Service. What we're going to focus on is AmeriCorps. And there are 3 areas of programming underneath the one umbrella of AmeriCorps, and those are NCCC, which stands for the National Civilian Community Corps, AmeriCorps State and National, which is the area of grant opportunities that the Office on Volunteerism and Community Service is responsible for, and AmeriCorps VISTA, which is an acronym for Volunteers in Service to America. And that is the area that the Corporation for National and Community Service, Virginia State Office, is responsible for administering. You can see here on this page that this is a map, so to speak, or a diagram that shows the various types of programs and how they relate to one another under the umbrella of the National and Community Service, the Corporation for National and Community Service. So what is AmeriCorps? As this slide shows, AmeriCorps is a national service network that provides both part-time and full-time service opportunities for individuals that we refer to as AmeriCorps members to serve their communities and build the capacity of nonprofit organizations to meet local needs related to those 5 priority areas under the Serve America Act. Though we're not going to spend much time talking about NCCC, just briefly want to let you know that the National Civilian Community Corps is a program that's primarily for young people. It's a team-based residential program with 10-month service terms where members live on one of 5 regional campuses throughout the United States, and then they're deployed in teams called spikes that travel to local areas to perform direct service to local communities in need. AmeriCorps State, which is the grant program that our office, the Office on Volunteerism and Community Service, administers, engages AmeriCorps members in primarily direct service and some capacity building activities to address unmet community needs. Local programs design the service activities for a team of members in which they serve full or part-time service terms for up to 1 year or during the summer. Organizations that receive these grant funds are responsible for recruiting, selecting, and supervising the AmeriCorps members that serve in their programs. AmeriCorps Vista focuses exclusively on anti-poverty efforts. AmeriCorps members provide primarily indirect or capacity-building activities to address unmet community needs. Sponsoring organizations for Vista must be able to direct the project, recruit and supervise the members, and provide necessary administrative support to complete the goals and the objectives of the project. On this slide, you'll notice a side-by-side of some of the items or higher-level objectives or issues related to AmeriCorps State or AmeriCorps Vista. You'll notice underneath AmeriCorps State the acronym OVCS, which is the Office on Volunteerism and Community Service. AmeriCorps State provides direct service activities. There are full and part-time member opportunities for AmeriCorps State, which address critical community needs. They provide service to individuals, some capacity building activities, and there is a match requirement that we'll discuss in a second part 2 of this presentation, where the application process is discussed in detail. On the right side of the slide, you'll notice some distinctives of the AmeriCorps Vista program, which is administered by the Corporation for National and Community Service State Office, which is a federal agency. Vista members provide primarily indirect service. They are full-time opportunities only, that has an anti-poverty focus, and AmeriCorps Vista members serve to build permanent infrastructures within organizations and intense capacity building. And cost sharing is encouraged within the Vista grant process. We often get at the questions about what constitutes appropriate or acceptable activities in the AmeriCorps State compared to AmeriCorps Vista programs. And so here this slide provides a side-by-side giving a selection of appropriate activities under the two programs. Please be aware that this is just a selection. It's by no means meant to be an exhaustive list of appropriate activities. And you'll notice that some of the direct service activities under AmeriCorps State include tutoring and mentoring, teaching computer skills, teaching conflict resolution, environmental activities, building homes, restoring parks, etc., recruiting volunteers. You'll notice that those all have the flavor primarily of direct service. Under AmeriCorps Vista, you'll notice training direct service providers, public speaking, organizing fundraising events, conducting outreach, developing community partnerships, creating volunteer assignments, and grant writing, and those all have the flavor of indirect service or capacity building activities. Again, this list is not meant to be exhaustive. It's meant to provide just an overview of some of the distinctions between the activities that AmeriCorps State and AmeriCorps Vista members can provide. Some of the grantee requirements for both AmeriCorps State and AmeriCorps Vista are that an organization must be a nonprofit, an educational institution, or a governmental agency. That includes Native American tribal governments. They must ensure appropriate stewardship of the federal funds and adhere to all the regulations and federal laws pertaining to the sponsorship of AmeriCorps members. Some benefits to an organization for becoming an AmeriCorps State or AmeriCorps Vista program is that it increases the number of people an organization can serve, and you can see a statistic there about organizations that accomplish just that. Recruitment of additional community volunteers that help serve an organization's target population, and becoming an AmeriCorps program enhances the visibility and the reputation of an organization. And as you may be aware, AmeriCorps has recently been in the news quite a bit, so it does indeed enhance your visibility to become an AmeriCorps program.